a tech background, and when I was studying anyway, nowadays I'm sure all of you have in your class in college or maybe in school, you probably go through something about IT or e-commerce. But even during the time I graduated, these were not part of the curriculum. In my final year in college, there was something called the internet. We didn't know what it was. We would chat with people we didn't know about. It was just interesting impersonating someone and spending time. So the interest was there. And in my case, we had Muncha House, obviously. When I was growing up, I would work once in a while, not dedicatedly, but because we lived there, the shop was at the bottom, we lived upstairs. My brother and father used to work there. And anytime they had to go out, they would sometimes call me. So I had to stay in the shop. And I wouldn't manage it, obviously. I didn't know anything about it. All I had to do was use my mathematics skills. So it's like if something was 200 rupees and someone would give 500, I had to know to give back 300. So basically that was the extent of my involvement in Muncha House at that time. But having said that, I was involved in the family business. So we were into retail, supplies, and wholesaling. So at that time I was thinking, why not start an internet wing as well? So we started planning around 99, and Infocom, we gave Infocom the project to program it. I had no idea what I was doing. I just basically said I need an online shopping site. So there was a guy called Neeraj Raut. He basically was the one who programmed the first version of Muncha.com. At that time it was munchahouse.com. Basically because I tried to get Muncha.com, but someone had already taken it. So we started with munchahouse.com. But after 1 year it came open again. So it was a good break for me, so I took muncha.com. At that time, obviously, there were still a lot of domain names were already taken, so it was not like everything was free. I mean, it was available at that time. It was $35 to get a domain name at that time, and you had to renew it every year. Now the price is more like 10, 11, something like that, so a lot cheaper. And 15 years back, $35 was worth a lot more than $35 now. Anyway, we started as munchahouse.com, and we had a dial-up connection of 33 kbps, and believe it or not, it was very, very fast at that time, relatively speaking, because just a couple of months back it was 14.4 kbps, and having double the speed, it was amazing for us. And soon it went to 55 kbps. It was even better. So the bad part was that the phone line would always be engaged. So in our office, we started in Teku, a small room at the roof of a building, and I had just one phone line, no mobiles at that time, and so my phone would always be busy. So that was but in a way it's also good because you don't have to answer a lot of phone calls, so it was peaceful in a way, but 55 kbps was very, very good for Nepal at that time. Nepal was actually progressing quite a bit. That's my personal opinion actually, but around that time the government put a heavy taxation in the internet, so even now the tax is still applicable, so it works out to around 33%. I think there's like 2-3 taxes, so if you add each of them together, it comes out to be 33%. But then what happened was that the internet growth in Nepal pretty much flatlined around that time. But there were a lot of companies who were already there. Mercantile was not the only one. There was WorldLink. I don't exactly know which other companies were there, but there were around 3 or 4 companies. WorldLink was there, definitely. WorldLink was pretty early. There was Everest Online, I think. Yeah, the company is not there anymore. But anyway, when we started in 2000, it was, I don't think anyone knew. Not many people had internet, and practically no one knew about online shopping. So we were like, what are we doing? we have a product that no one knows how to use. So in a way, even while making it, we just targeted the NRN community in Nepal. So it was purely a gift site. People outside would send gifts to people in Nepal, and the recipients were obviously very happy to receive gifts here. And our delivery people were also very happy, because initially the parents would receive, typically parents, sons and daughters would send gifts to their parents. So the parents who would receive gifts, they would think that their sons and daughters sent this gift with someone who was coming to Nepal, and our delivery person was actually the friend of their son and daughter. So they would say, "Basana bhai," and then would hire us out. So our delivery person, we had one delivery person, he was always very, very happy. Things changed obviously later on when people realized obviously like this was a business, and so it was like it was being paid for, not something that was just sent from outside. But initially, a lot of people, obviously locally, people didn't know what it was like, and outside also the marketing possibilities were pretty limited at that time. There weren't a whole lot of sites here, and so reaching the NRN community was also a little tricky at that time. So we actually didn't have a whole lot of orders at that time. Obviously, if we had just started locally, it would be no orders probably. But then, in a way, like I'm sure a lot of you will also be looking into entrepreneurship and starting your own business. The thing about it is that a lot of times, I feel that a lot of times people start something, and the way of thinking is like, let's see which industry to go to in which you'll make more money. Eh? Instead of what would I do that is interesting or that I like. So in a way, I started something that I liked. There was no market for it. If business principles were to be utilized, I actually have an MBA degree. So if I were to fall back on what I learned in college, I would have shut it down in 6 months. If you are to believe the statistics on opening businesses, it's like 4 out of businesses fail. 1 out of 2 fail in the first year, and by the end of second year, 4 out of 5 businesses will fail. Okay? Only 20% survival rate. But then people look at this as something to use, something through which not to start a business, right? But then there are groups of people who will use this as saying that, okay, I'll start something. If that does not make it in the first 2 years, let's say, so I'll learn something. So the next thing I do is going to be, I'll know how to do it better. I'll know how to make it successful. So in a way, we started small. Obviously, I had we spent some money making the software that was not coming back. So that in business terms is termed as sunk cost. So even if I close the business down, that is not going to come back. I like to say we started with 1 and 1.25 staff, because I had 1 full-time person and the delivery person was sort of like quarter time. He would call me early in the morning saying, "Ke lognu parne cha?" And most of the time I would have to say, "No, ke pani chaina." So he said, "He'll be happy mero aaj aundainu." So we had like typically 1 order every 2 days for the first year anyway. We had 1 order every 2 days, so we didn't know what to do. So we didn't want to shut it down either. So we looked at other possibilities of how to take this forward. Obviously, there were very limited marketing areas at that time. In a way, right now, when you think about, most people, when they think about Muncha.com, they think about the online shopping site. But we're trying to create something in which we say it's an e-commerce ecosystem. So right now we have a payment gateway called iPay. It goes through the domain name of ipay.com.np. We had a photography site a long time back, shut it down a long time back. We started online remittance in 2004, still going strong. but has had a lot of changes. We have an online gaming site, boost.com. Anyone of you know about boost.com? Okay. So we're also in the process of developing that further. We have an online business directory called uno.com.np. We also have a news aggregation site called Nepal Up Close. So we're trying to do all of these things in a way because a lot of things relate to each other. In a way, how we're thinking about it is that munsa.com is a shopping site, right? So for people to know about munsa.com, you need an advertisement platform. So we've even made a service called iads.com.np, through which we sell banner ads to others. It's sort of like Google AdSense, but only for local businesses. We have bought prominent banner space from some major newspapers, online sites, and which we have sort of made. We've created a system in which to make to be able to take a lot more productivity out of the banner spaces, and we're doing this for ourselves actually. But while doing this, we're also selling it to others, because our concept is, if we're going to do it for ourselves and we've created a technology for it, why not also sell it to others? So that is there for to promote munsa.com. Then if someone needs to buy something, you need a payment gateway. So for that, iPay came along. Then if once someone has bought something, a delivery needs to be done. We obviously have a delivery team in-house. So in a way, a lot of these businesses came about because of all the requirement of all this. Right now, obviously, there are a lot of payment gateways. There are a couple of courier companies. There are some advertisement companies, but all of these, the idea behind all of these companies came like 10 years back when there was practically nothing. So even Kumari Bank, I'm sure a lot of you use online banking. So, but the problem is that a lot of people actually don't use online banking as a percentage of the account holders. The typical person will say, I don't have an online bank. A typical person will have a bank account, but most of them will not have signed up for online banking, and those of them who have signed up for online banking will have forgotten their password. Most of them, right? And the Nepali banks are really paranoid here. So munsa.com started, the shopping site started in 2000. In 2007, we changed it to a merchant system in which others can also sell products through us. So right now, that thing is still ongoing. So right now, there are around 50 sites, 50 shops that sell products through us. And in 2002, we started a photography site. This was sort of just like a pet hobby, and also came out of the fact that we had a lot of free time. And at that time, we modeled it around after a Kodak gallery and O-photo. I don't know if any of you remember that. That was all the rage at that time. But nowadays, at that time, people would still print photographs. Nowadays, obviously, people don't print photographs at all. So when we started in 2002, and we sort of created an upgraded version of the site in 2005, 2006 we shut it down. Obviously the photography, online photography market has really moved in a different direction. People take a lot more photographs nowadays. Like anytime people go to a restaurant, they have to take the picture of the food they eat. Anytime they meet someone, they have to take the photo, and they have to put it up immediately. So people take a lot more photographs now, but they don't print anything. Right? So Facebook is the site that publishes the most photographs nowadays. Has overtaken other Shutterstock. There are a lot of other sites. Flickr.com. I think it's so Facebook has overtook Flickr long time back. But before we try to model it after sites in which you actually share photographs, but people would ultimately print photographs. We had a very interesting story in which someone, what we would do is that people would send us upload photographs into our site. We would download it and we would print it and we would deliver it. Right? So this one guy once uploaded 25 photographs, each of them 2 megabytes. At that time, it was very, very high. It was probably a 3 megapixel camera, which was a very advanced camera at that time. So I had to stay up 2 days and 2 nights just downloading those 25 photographs on a 32 kbps speed through the FTP system. That was very, very interesting. Have like 7 or 8 different things we're doing, but all of them are online. All of them, they don't, we hardly do anything offline. So even the remittance that we're doing is an online platform. So basically a typical remittance company is like most people think about Western Union, in which outside people would go to a gas station, they give money to the person there, he will put it into the system, he'll give you a code, the code will be given to a person here, and the person will go to another Western Union agent here and will get the money. In our case, they log in online, they give their identity, they give their bank account details, and then initially they have to be verified, and then afterwards when they'll just say, okay, I want to send this much money to this person, and then the transaction goes through. He doesn't have to go anywhere, he doesn't have to go to the bank, he doesn't have to give the money to anyone. So it totally happens online. So, but the movies and music, we've sort of shut it down right now, but the book part has morphed into this part. We started this just in 2015 called kaka.com.np. It's a book reading app. So it's very raw right now. So if you look at it, there is a lot of, the smoothness is not there right now, but conceptually this is something that if you followed e-commerce, you'll know that books is the product through which e-commerce actually started, or not. Let's not say started, but something that has really taken off online. Basically, books is something in which when you buy, you're not going to say like you malai rang namilera malai man parदैन. A lot of times we have that complaint when people buy clothes from us, like your size मिलेन, रङ मिलेन, कम्प्युटरमा कस्तो राम्रो देखाएको थियो आउँदाखेरि कस्तो भयो. That is not something a complaint we receive when someone buys books. Font ठुलो भयो सानो भयो, it's not a big problem. But the thing is that we're not talking about physical books here, right? That's how it started. Obviously, even we have a physical book section in our site, but long term, I feel that we're all going to go digital. Because especially if you look at books, music, movies, people like you, right? I'm sure a lot of you also obviously deal with the physical books part as well, but you're the demographic who will really identify with products like this. There are people nowadays who see people wearing watches and like they question why do you want to wear a watch? All it does is tell you the time and maybe the date, right? Why do you even wear it? You have a mobile that tells you all of that and more, a lot more, right? And even if you look at websites, shopping sites, watches are something that are categorized under jewelry. Typically men's jewelry or women's jewelry, there's a lot more choices. There's a lot less choices when it concerns men, more so than to look at the time, right? And even, but that was not how watches started, right? Watches have been around for more than 100 years, and even like 20, 30 years back, watches were bought to tell the time. And even if you look at how the industry, the book industry is going, like as students, you'll carry a bag full of books when you go to college or school, right? But this industry, the way it's coming out, it'll make physical books sort of redundant in the future. Even now, like the books, storybooks you read, you don't with apps and with ebook readers, you don't have to carry a whole lot of books anywhere, right? It's connected to. Anyone of you familiar with Kindle?
Yes.
You use it?
Yeah.
That's good. So you'll know how what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So basically, an older person will never relate to this, right? A lot of older people, they say like, I want this smell of books. I don't want to read it in a digital form, right? It is nostalgic in a way, the smell of books and all that. A lot of people who really read books, who are really interested in the books, they have a room, a mini library in their house. They love to go to the library, but in 10 years there'll probably be no libraries around. I mean, it's redundant. The concept of a library is starting to be redundant. And like even in this, I mean, when I read books through the app, or in the reader, like if I like typically, let's say now, if you come across a word that you don't know, you have a dictionary at the side. Okay, now you have an app for the dictionary, so it's a little different now, right? But before, you would have a really thick dictionary at your side. You would go through it, see what the meaning of the word is. You would never know how to pronounce it anyway, and the dictionary will never show you how. But now all you have to do is just click on the word that you don't know. The meaning will come. If you need to know how to pronounce it, just click on the mic. It'll show you how it's pronounced, and maybe even give you a lot of other links as to what the word relates to. Right? But the music, books, and movies is what is really driving e-commerce right now. What has been driving e-commerce from the very beginning. Right? Outside, people would buy through credit cards, but then the credit card has a minimum fee of around 50 rupees. So we're selling 25 rupees songs, and just the payment part is 50 rupees. So that's actually how iPay came along. So it was not meant to. It's a payment tool, but was not meant to be a payment gateway at that time. But over time, we've now sort of realized that it's coming about is that iPay takes a very crucial spot in the Muncha.com ecosystem right now, because any commerce thing you do, you have to pay for it, right? And when you pay for it, you need a payment tool. So that's how iPay came along, and right now you pay a lot of things are going online right now. Like typically, when you buy a recharge card for your mobile, you would go to a shop, you would buy the recharge card, you would scratch the thing, and then I'm sure a lot of you have really good vision. You're very young. So older people probably have really difficult time reading that thing, and you would have to put it in your mobile, send it through SMS to NTC, and then your mobile would be recharged. But now it's going online, a lot of it. So all you have to do is when you go to the iPay app, you just put the mobile number that you want to recharge, and then it happens. And recently, even NEA has started this. So parts of Nepal, not all of Nepal, parts of Nepal, you can recharge, you can pay for your electric bill online. That happens in real time. So all of Nepal is actually in a way progressing fairly fast. I wouldn't say fast, but fairly fast in this area. Like two games right now, and we're also working on Kitty right now, so that should come in maybe 3 or 4 months. Right now it's only desktop version, so when Kitty comes, it's going to be in mobile as well, and slowly we'll be taking the others mobile too. The next site we have is Nepal Up Close. This is also in partnership. It's basically a news aggregation site. So we don't, we're not news people. So we don't have the expertise to go outside gathering news, and we don't look ourselves as companies like that also. But what we do is we aggregate news from different sites, and we show it from one platform. Alan Dai was actually saying that I don't have a tech background, but I'm running a tech company. I don't have a tech background, but I don't actually see Munza.com as a tech company though. So that's one sort of distinction. In a way, we use tech a lot. Yeah. Obviously, we depend on tech. We depend on the internet and the internet technology, but we ourselves have sort of never viewed ourselves as a tech company, and we have outsourced most of our work. This is the Uno card right now. Basically, it's a discount card, but this site is not a discount site though. So, but it's based on the discount card. So what we are working on here is to make a business directory for Nepal. So we're basing it on this will be divided into different cities as well. So when you go to Pokhara, you'll see businesses in Pokhara. Like if you're looking for a Chinese restaurant in Pokhara, you can look at the Uno app and see which Chinese restaurants are there, which is close by, which is rated high. Obviously what I'm saying is more of what Uno will be in the future. It's not like that right now. So right now it'll list all the sites, but it'll not tell you which is good. It'll not tell you which is close by. It'll give you the map where it is, but you'll have to find it yourself though. But how we look at it is that later on you'll be looking at your mobile, and wherever you are, it'll pinpoint where you are, and it'll show you what is around you. And it'll also include places which you'll get discounts if you have the Uno card. So basically, in a way, you look at it as yellow pages being taken online. Right? Nepal had a lot of yellow pages companies like Nepal, Yellow Page, Nepal.com, and yeah. So at one time, Yellow Page business was also very popular in Nepal. There were, I think, 6 or 7 different companies just in Kathmandu doing Yellow Pages. But that was 15 years back. Our thinking was that if we're going to spend all this time creating a technology to do this, why not open it up to other people as well? So only from this year we've started selling it to other companies. We have like 5 or 6 different companies who use our service right now. The thing in Nepal is that a lot of you are tech students and fairly young, and are very open to things like this. You sort of grew up with this, so this might not be very difficult for you to understand. But for us, marketing this to marketing departments in big companies itself is very difficult because people don't understand this at all. So things are changing very, very fast nowadays. So in a way, a lot of you will be might be starting your own businesses. Our journey has been very, very exciting. A lot of people think about Munza.com, and there are some people who say, oh, you must be very happy, you're making a lot of money and all these things. But in a way, the truth is that we're still in survival mode right now. We're doing a lot of things. We're a lot more stable than we were 5 years back. And 5 years back, we were a lot more stable than we were 10 years back. But even now, we feel that our place is still shaky. Right? If you look at, but at this point in time, e-commerce is sort of taking off in Nepal. A lot of people know about, a lot more people are familiar with e-commerce now. There are a lot more people who have ordered online. And there are a lot more companies who have lot more online e-commerce businesses in Nepal now, and lot more variety. The best part is that before it was just online shopping, and not just online shopping, it would all be gift sites, sending gifts from America to Nepal, Australia to Nepal, or UK to Nepal. That was the definition of shopping at that time, just a couple of years back. But now there's Food Mandu. You can deliver, you can order food online. Cool Cat was there. Now it's sort of shut down for a while because there's no petrol. But there are a lot more different companies now, and there are even big multinational companies have also set up shop here. I'm sure you know about Kemu.com. It's not a local company. It's they have operations in, I think, 30 different countries. It's a part of a brand of one of the brands of a German company. So Nepal is generating a lot of interest now. Even banks are also starting to. Nepal Bank, of all the places, Nepal Bank, you think that Nepal Bank is a very old and very traditional bank. They've just announced for Saza Bus, they've announced a partnership with another company through which to pay through NFC the bus fees. So it's a very exciting time, and things will obviously in this area will change quite a bit in Nepal. Nepal sort of seems to lag behind Western countries in terms of technology. We do have a lot of young people, a lot of tech graduates, and so we're looking to you to start very interesting businesses. I come here, mentor quite a few people, really, really good ideas. But the sad part is that the continuation is not there. So if you're looking to start a business, basically there'll be difficulties, there'll be a lot of problems. The market is still shallow. Market is still is a lot bigger than it was. Still shallow, but then it's a very interesting journey. And a lot of people like like Alan, I said I was not a manager actually. I was assistant manager when I left Himalayan Bank. I had just become, I had been promoted just a year back, and a lot of my colleagues, the ones I were in my same level that as me, or even some of them junior to me, have actually even become CEOs in banks right now. And in Nepal, I find that a lot of people want to join banks, and when I ask them why, it's basically because you get a lot of salary, right? It's not because I want to do this, I want to be in finance and all that. No, it's because it's nice to go in a tie, you're respected, and you make a lot of money. Right? At one time, yes, you would make a lot more money relatively in banks, but now banks are sort of reaching mature saturation right now, so it's not as easy. When I joined bank, yes, you could really rise up quickly, and you would be making a lot more money at that time, but it's a lot less so now. But the thing I wanted to say is that you should want to do something that you're interested in. That's my perspective actually. So the thing is, if you do something you love, right, you're going to stick with it. In a way, I stuck with Munza.com no matter what, because it was something. Ego was one of them. Yes, definitely. I didn't want to go back to work in a bank again. But the other part was that the more important part was that it fit my personality, and this was something I really wanted to do. A lot of people say that if you were don't you regret leaving the bank? Because if you were still in banking, you might even have become a CEO by now. For one thing, I don't think I would become a CEO. But then even if I was, I probably would not have liked doing what I was doing. So yes, maybe I'd make a lot more money than I'm doing now, but would I really want to spend 8 hours a day, every day, doing something I didn't like, right? So the choice is yours, obviously, right? But obviously different people will look at things in a different way. There will be a lot of, there might be a lot of family things like, okay, my mom wants to be a doctor, wants me to be a doctor, whatever, right? So basically that's our story. So if you have any questions.
तपाईहरुले चाहिँ जस्तै ध्यान दिनुपर्ने अब अरु अफलाइन बिजनेसहरु भन्दा कुराहरु चाहिँ के के होला जस्तै डिस्ट्रिब्युसनमा फ्रडहरु यताउता कस्टमर्सहरु त्यो अनि अरु कुराहरु चाहिँ के चाहिँ ध्यान दिनुपर्छ
अब यसमा ध्यान त सबैमा दिनुपर्छ हैन फ्रड मात्र हैन फ्रड इज वान थिङ अब अनलाइनमा अब हामीले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ नि अब के भन्दाखेरि अब हामीले सुरु गर्दाखेरि हैन सपोर्ट स्ट्रक्चरहरु के पनि थिएन के अहिले हेर्दाखेरि ओहो यो पनि गरिरहेछ त्यो पनि गरिरहेछ लट अफ पिपल थिंक वी हैव लस्ट फोकस that might also be true, you know, but then we did all of these things because these parts were essential and they were not there. हैन अब पेमेन्ट गेटवे पहिला हामीले गर्दाखेरि थिदै थिएन क्याश अन डेलिभरी गर्न सक्थ्यो बट देन हैन अब काठमाडौँमा त गर्नुपर्ने भयो हैन बाहिर जाँदाखेरि अब क्याश अन डेलिभरी कसरी गर्ने अहिले वी अल्सो ह्याभ ब्रान्चेस आउटसाइड नेपाल हाम्रो अहिले चाहिँ नि 40 वटा ठाउँमा चाहिँ नि मान्छेहरुको रिच छ इट्स नट लाइक 40 वटै ठाउँमा मान्छे राखेको त हैन कुनै कुनै ठाउँमा एकजनाले 2-3 वटा एरिया हेर्छ लाइक बुटोलको मान्छेले भैरवा र लुम्बिनी दुईटै हेर्छ हैन सो हामीले चाहिँ 3टा एरिया भन्छौं बट इट्स 1%. सो त्यो गर्दाखेरि क्याश अन डेलिभरी इज इजियर भनौं न शपिङकै साइड हेर्ने हो भने बट देन फ्रड इज अल्सो समथिङ वी हैव टु लुक एट हैन अब कतिको रिस्क लिने भन्ने कुरा आउँछ के हैन अब नेपालमा त भर्खर सुरु भइरहेछ हैन अब यो क्रेडिट कार्ड भनेको नेपालमा अहिले हिमालय बैंक जस्ट स्टार्टेड गिभिङ क्रेडिट कार्ड्स अनलाइन क्रेडिट कार्ड एक्सेप्टेन्स भर्खर सुरु भएको छ त्यो पनि ओपन गरेको छैन सबैलाई हैन यो सेलेक्टिभली 3-4 वटा कम्पनीलाई मात्र टेस्ट गर्नलाई दिइरहेको छ तर लेट्स 2-3 महिनामा आउँछ हैन सो त्यसपछि फ्रडहरु के कस्तो भयो हेर्ने कुरा आउँछ किनभने त्यसमा क्रेडिट कार्डबाट तिर्छ पैसा आउने हो हैन अरु कुराहरु आउँछ बट देन यु क्यान टाइटन अप योर सिक्युरिटी अब एकदमै 100% टाइट गरेर गर्यो भने द ब्याड पार्ट इज यु लुज अ लट अफ कस्टमर्स हु आर जेन्युइन एज वेल हैन सो एउटा ब्यालेन्स चाहिँ मेन्टेन गर्नुपर्छ हो यु हेभ टु थिंक लाइक ओके ल महिनामा 2-3 वटा फ्रड होला हैन पैसा जान्छ हैन तर टोटलमा 200 वटा अर्डर 1000 वटा अर्डर आयो रे हैन अब अन द अदर ह्यान्ड फ्रड चाहिँ 0 आयो अर्डर पनि 50-60 वटा भयो भने यु आर लुजिङ दैट बिग चंक नि सो दैट त्यो ब्यालेन्स चाहिँ नि एकचोटि हेर्नुपर्छ हैन अब obviously दैट्स फ्रड इज जस्ट वान अफ देम डेलिभरीको कुरा आउँछ हैन अहिले पेट्रोल नभएको टाइममा डेलिभरी त हुन्छ अलिकति महँगो हुन्छ we also have a structure to deliver products अहिले it's only in house at one point in time we might also open that up to others हैन so पहिला कुरियरमा डिपेन्ड गर्थ्यो हामीले कुरियर कम्पनीहरुले नेपाल भरि गर्ने हुँदा 120 वटा ठाउँ डेलिभरी हुन्छ भनेर भन्थ्यो सो दैट्स व्हाट इट वाज इन आवर साइड हैन muncha.com मा 120 वटा नेपाली सिटीहरुमा टाउनहरुमा डेलिभरी हुन्छ भन्थ्यो नाउ इट्स लट लेस नाउ इट्स 40 cities तर द क्वालिटी of our delivery is a lot better than it was before तर सबै ठाउँमा पुग्दैन तर we have more deliveries now outside Kathmandu than before अब पहिला त अर्डर आउँथ्यो पठाउँथ्यो पुग्यो पुगेन पनि थाहा हुँदैन हैन रिसिपिएन्टलाई फोन गर्नु पर्थ्यो तपाईको सामान आयो भनेर हैन 2-3 दिनमा फोन गरेर अनि आएपछि अनि पुग्यो भनेर अनि स्ट्याटस चेन्ज गर्नु पर्थ्यो साइटमा
नेपालको मार्केट अफ स्यालोनेस सो युजुअली मोटिभेसनल सेमिनार्स अथवा बिजनेस सेमिनार्समा हेर्दै अब युजुअली ब्रेन ड्रेन भइरहेछ युथहरूले किन अपर्च्युनिटी नपाएको भन्छ बिकज वी हेभ 1 बिलियन पिपल इन द साउथ एन्ड 1 बिलियन पिपल इन द नर्थ भनेर कुरामा मात्रै सीमित भइरहेछ नि सो इज इट पोसिबल द्याट वी क्यान टार्गेट द अडियन्सेस पिपल इन चाइना एन्ड इन्डिया
या अफ कोर्स तर इट डिपेन्ड्स अन द प्रडक्ट नि हैन यो त अब हामीले गरिरहेको त इट्स अ सिस्टम हो हैन त्यहाँ गर्दाखेरि अब चाहिँ नि अब मेनली इट्स एक्चुअली आई टेक दैट ब्याक इट क्यान बी सिस्टम्स एज वेल And if you create a strong system, a different system, you can market that service as well. It'll be a little difficult. But the more and more मान्छेहरु गर्न थाल्दाखेरि it becomes easier because the avenues open up. पहिला कसले पनि नगर्दाखेरि it's difficult. हैन त्यसमा त अब खाली अब Indian market and Chinese market is a lot more competitive than the Nepali market. So you have to have a really good product and you have to really go all out quickly. आजकल अनलाइनमा त्यही हो नि once you the concept is के भन्दा concept चाहिँ राम्रो छ भनेर भन्यो नि बिस्तारै गर्न थाल्यो नि अर्कोले कपी गरेर खाइदिन्छ. So typically त्यो concept अलिकति राम्रो छ भने नि even if you don't have the money you can bring in investors. It's how you're able to convince them. त्यही मात्रै हो. But possible नभएको हैन obviously it's possible.
Muncha.com नाम चाहिँ कसरी आयो?
Muncha चाहिँ नि it's supposedly my great grandfather's brother's nickname. Muncha House actually is a very old shop. It was in Asan before. It moved to New Road in पहिला चाहिँ नि राणाको पालमा चाहिँ नि New Road was quite dead. New Road थिँदै थिएन. New Road को हिस्ट्री हेर्ने हो भने New Road was made by जुद्ध शमशेर. The buildings were very त्यो पुरानो त्यो ब्रिटिश त्यो युरोपियन आर्किटेक्चर को बिल्डिङ थियो. पहिलाको फोटो हेर्यो भने इट्स really nice. भर्खर बनाउँदाखेरि very uniform. And if you notice इन्द्र चोकमा हेर्यो भने इन्द्र चोक बनाएपछि चाहिँ नि इन्द्र चोकको फेस चेन्ज गर्नु हुँदैन भन्ने रुल्स अहिले पनि छ. So but it does not look uniform because people have added stories on top. So तलको तीन तल्ला चाहिँ एकदम युनिफर्म छ माथि चाहिँ छैन हैन. तर न्यू रोड at that time was त्यति बेला त्यो बनाएको थियो तर most of the people moved from actually Asan त्यस्तो area. The Asan was the center of Kathmandu at that time. So Muncha House was under a different name in Asan and Asanबाट न्यू रोडमा मुभ हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ नि मुन्चा भनेर राखेको थियो. And basically it came about because त्यहाँ पसलमा आउने ग्राहकहरूले चाहिँ नि मान्छेको पसल जाउन भनेर भन्थ्यो अरे हैन. So it became त्यहाँ सर्दाखेरि चाहिँ मुन्चा भनेर चाहिँ नि चा इज नेवारमा चाहिँ त्यो साथीहरूलाई चा भनेर त्यो भन्छ नि. सो मानिक मानलाई मान्छा भन्यो मान्छा बिकेम मुन्चा एन्ड देन इट बिकेम मुन्चा हाउस. But it's the shop is probably 90 years old, 80 or 90 years old. अनि असनमा हुँदाखेरि असनबाट न्यू रोड सर्दाखेरि probably 60 years back सरेको होला. Muncha.com is only 15 years old. Muncha.com is actually 13 years old. Munchahouse.com थियो पहिला. So if you really look at chronologically हेर्ने हो भने it started as Munchahouse.com. Then 2 years later it became Muncha.com. At one point in time गरेको थियो, but then it was very expensive, so हामीलाई नै अलि लाज लाग्यो.
एकदम केबाट गर्नुभयो यो एक्सपोर्ट?
हैन हाम्रो साइटहरुमा अब जे सामान छ जुनै पनि गर्नु हुन्थ्यो फेडेक्सबाट पठाउनु त हो नि.
अनि के बन्द चाहिँ के हो र?
There was no demand for it. एक वर्षमा दुईटा अर्डर आयो. So the thing is अब कस्तो भन्दा अब बाहिरकोमा चाहिँ नि हाम्रोमा अब बाहिरकोहरूलाई सोद्धाखेरि के मन पर्छ भन्दाखेरि हैन हाम्रो मार्केट त नेपालीहरु हो. सो बाहिरकोलाई के मन पर्छ भन्दा लुगा त अभियसली भन्दैन हैन. तितौरा चाहिन्छ, चिउरा चाहिन्छ, किताब चाहिन्छ भनेर भन्थ्यो. अब तिनीहरु डेलिभरी गर्दा तितौरा गर्यो भने त्यो कस्टमर नै रोकिन्थ्यो होला हैन. के आयो हैन. अब किताबहरु जाँदाखेरि अब एउटा पठाउँदा किताब यहाँको किताब इज टिपिकली 300 रुपीस. सो $3 भनौं. डेलिभरी इज $20 हैन. सो $3 को सामान पठाउनलाई $20 $30 खर्च गर्नु पर्थ्यो. सो इट त्यो हामीलाई नै पनि अलि अप्ठ्यारो हो. यो लाइक अब गाली पनि खान्थ्यो महँगो भयो भनेर भन्थ्यो. हामीलाई के आउँथ्यो. Certain things are it's just not worth doing it. But basically demand थिएन भनौं न because there's a big mismatch between what people need there and what we can supply at a good price. होइन अब त्यही चिउराहरू कसरी पर्छ दिज आर हेभी थिङ नि 1 किलो चिउरा भन्यो भने 1 किलो चिउरा कति नै पर्छ बट देन डेलिभरी चार्ज इज गोइङ टु बी भेरी एक्सपेन्सिभ लट अफ अब बाहिरतिर कस्तो छ भन्दा इ कमर्स कम्पनी भनेको इज चिपर देन फिजिकल सप्स भनेर भन्छ होइन द्याट इज भेरी ट्रु इट्स चिपर देन फिजिकल सप्स बिकज यु डोन्ट ह्याभ द कस्ट द्याट फिजिकल सप्स ह्याभ होइन बट देन यु निड अ सर्टन त्यो भल्युम चाहिँ चाहिन्छ नि होइन कसै नहुने होइन नि यु हेभ अ सेट स्टाफ यु हेभ सेट अफिस कस्टहरू सेट मार्केटिङ कस्टहरू एन्ड वेन यु अब सेल्स क्यान बी अनलिमिटेड क्या अनलाइनमा बट देन अ सर्टन यो थ्रेसहोल्ड अफ सेल्स चाहिँ हेज टु बी देयर होइन सो बाहिरतिर गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ नि त्यो मार्केटिङ एकदमै हेभिली एकैचोटि गर्ने प्लस त्यो मार्केट साइज ठुलो भएकोले चाहिँ नि त्यो एकदम चाँडो ऱ्याम्प अप हुने भएकोले चाहिँ नि त्यो द प्राइसेस आर लोवर नेपालमा पनि अब हामीले प्राइस राखेको इट्स लोवर तर हामीले लोवर भने पनि अब इट्स नट फर 100% अफ आवर प्रडक्ट्स टिपिकली इट्स हामीले चाहिँ कसरी हेर्छ भने अब 98-99% अफ द प्रडक्ट्स चाहिँ नि इट्स लोवर देन मार्केट तर हाम्रोमा यु क्यानट बार्गेन होइन सो पसलमा गएर चाहिँ नि साउजी घटाइदियो भने घटाइदिन्छ होइन सो घटाएपछि हाम्रो के प्राइस हुन्छ त्यसमै आउँछ तर अब त्यसमा चाहिँ नि त्यही अब त्यो अब तर लङ टर्म चाहिँ नि अनलाइनको कस्ट स्ट्रक्चर विल अलवेज बी लोवर देन अ फिजिकल सप नेपालमा चाहिँ त्यही फाइनेन्सियल मार्केट चाहिँ नि इट्स एक्चुली लाइक अन्टरप्रेन्योरलाई भनौँ न नयाँ बिजनेसलाई इट्स नट एक्चुली भेरी सपोर्टिभ सो अब त्यसमा चाहिँ नि अब ट्रेडिसनली अब भनौँ न अब यु एक्चुली वाट I would think is that you would actually have to start it yourself in a small scale होइन अब कन्सेप्ट मात्र भएर भएन सुरु गरेर चाहिँ नि त्यो गरेर यु डोन्ट ह्याभ टु स्पेन्ड अ लट अफ मनी नि सुरुमा अब त्यो कुन कति स्केलमा जाने त्यसमा मात्र कस्टहरू पर्ने हो नि सो सानो स्केलमा गर्न साथ चाहिँ नि युल नो द मार्केट फिडब्याक के कस्तो छ अलिक सानो स्केलमै भए पनि युल नो युल हेभ अ गुड आइडिया अनि त्यो डेटाबाट चाहिँ इट विल बी इजियर टु गेट इन्भेस्टर्स अब अहिले चाहिँ नि अब 3-4 years back even that was not there if you go to the bankले चाहिँ नि they will look at a business proposal profit छ भने they'll finance they'll give you money तर सानो सुरुमा त प्रफिट त भइरहेको हुँदैन and then even if you have the profit हैन they'll ask you to put घर जग्गा राख्न लगाउँछ हैन तर fortunately now there are other companies venture capitalist companiesहरू छ बाहिर जस्तै तर in a smaller scale so they'll look at your business and then if they are interested they will finance they will take a equity stake लिन्छ but then these are ventures okay thank you very much
This is a small token of appreciation. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much.